Hi, we continue with our discussions on internal auditing of ISO 9001. Previously, we talked about common finding or observations by the auditor related to documentations and records, as well as the non-compliance of the processes. In these videos, we're going to continue our discussions, now focusing on the trainings and competency. Competent staff and training is also one of the requirements in ISO 9001. It is important to ensure that the operations of the organizations is carried out appropriately. In fact, if the auditor would like to evaluate whether the staff are competent, it is a bit challenging, but not totally unachievable. Let me highlight where are the challenging part. First, you are the third party. You may not know their operations. It is very challenging for you to observe and conclude whether they are competent, efficient enough, and etc. Some may say that you can check their training records. If they do not have training, meaning that they are not competent. This is not quite accurate because lacking of training, it may merely reflect that the low commitment of the management giving training to the staff. There is still a gap away, reflecting the incompetent staff. Some may look into the qualifications. Certain posts may require certain qualifications, such as professional qualifications or academic qualifications. Now, you have to look back into the guideline and the policy, whether there are specific rulings on this. In this case, auditor may raise the concern, but in my opinion, still not strong enough to justify whether they are competent. I guess more direct way is through interviewing the staff, asking them to explain their tasks, procedures, SOPs, quality objective, and etc. If they can explain well, then it implies that they are well competent. But if they cannot explain well, maybe that reflects that they are incompetent. Of course, you can have some more objective evaluations, especially based on the output, the percentage of meeting the requirements, meeting the deadlines, the frequency of errors, rework, the feedback from the customers, and others. That can be one of the ways for you to verify whether the staff are competent. Now you're aware that there may be some limitations from the auditor side to fully verify whether the staff is competent or not. Normally it is when it is too obvious that the staff cannot deliver or not aware of their job scope or responsibility, cannot tell that what should be done, then that triggers the attentions of the auditors. Since the auditors are not the core workers, being the third party, may not be able to witness how the staff performs in their daily routine. But anyway, whatever observations by the auditors to some extent may reflect the conditions, the level of competency of the staff. These are some common observations or findings. And you will see that the statement being used are quite careful. No auditor dares to say that the staff obviously are not competent, as it is quite subjective to verify that. What you commonly see is, for example, the staff are not fully aware of their job scope or responsibility. This one you can confirm through interview, and the staff being interviewed can be the witness. Or new staff are not briefed of SOP or quality objective. They do not know the presence of the SOP, or they do not fully abide to the SOP, or they may not also know the functions of the SOP. And then often you will see that auditors will ask the staff, especially the new staff, regarding the quality objective of the departments. I guess very often you will see staff not being able to answer this. Since this is one of the unique part of the ISO, if your department is scheduled to undergoing the auditing section, make sure you have briefed your staff carefully. You do not need the staff to fully memorize those, as long as they know where to access, where to refer, and make known to the auditors that they really are aware of that, and in their daily routine, they try to accomplish this. That shouldn't be an issue. Normally, auditors will not penalize you for not being able to memorize the quality objective of the department. But if your staff can memorize that, that would be good. Next is lack of evidence of trainings or competency assessment. Now, it depends on the nature of the work. If you are dealing with the skill base, probably you are looking into the competency assessment, such as technologists, technicians, and etc. And then the training is more towards the knowledge base. Now, is it a must that they must have training? Theoretically, yes. It is an mandatory requirement for the organizations to ensure the competency of their staff. Now, does it mean that every single staff you need to provide training? Or do you need every single staff to experience through the same training and assessment? That one will be depending on the needs, where this kind of training is supposedly to be meaningful and purposeful, designated to improve the performance and the effectiveness of the operations of the company. There may be practical limitations. For example, constraint of the budget. Some company may not afford to have every single staff to undergo training. However, there should be opportunity or facilities provided, allowing the staff going through the training. The company may also have sent someone to attend for training and then come back transferring the knowledge and skills to the other co-workers. This is also acceptable. Now, as long as they can disclose evidence that there are trainings and competency assessment, that will not be an issue to the auditors. So for whatever training being done or being provided, it should be well documented as the evidence that trainings are provided for the staff in order to fulfill the requirements of ISO 9001. And then sometimes even trainings are provided, you still receive some comments from the auditors, such as OFI, that training effectiveness is not evaluated, or the training provided does not bring direct impact or no evidence or impacts to the company's overall operations. I believe this will not be an NCR since you have training in place. Sometimes training is something that very hard to tell. The issue here is if you don't have any training. Now, once you have the training, sometimes it may not be directly related, but it can still bring into some positive impact, just that may not be able to be measured. For example, with greater awareness of certain things, creating a positive growth cultures within the organizations. This cannot be denied by the auditors, just that it is always a good practice. After doing the training, there should be some survey or evaluations to determine the effectiveness of the training. This can give you some good feedback, allowing you to make good decisions in the future arrangements for training to the staff.